Devil May Cry Season 1 opens with a robbery at the Vatican Museum, where a strange humanoid called White Rabbit appears before a group of hired thieves. He steals the legendary sword Force Edge, once belonging to the demon knight Sparta. After using the thieves to gain access, he kills them easily and declares that the Age of Demons has begun before the entire museum erupts in flames. Elsewhere, a woman loses sight of her daughter Ellie after being bumped into on a crowded street. In a nearby alley, monsters suddenly attack her, but a sarcastic demon hunter named Dante arrives and wipes them out. Moments later, Ellie briefly transforms into a creature and attacks him before turning back into a normal child. Confused and terrified, the mother escapes with her daughter. News of the Vatican attack spreads worldwide. Most people dismiss it as conspiracy nonsense, but the US government takes it seriously after discovering non-human DNA at the scene. Darkcom, a secret agency studying interdimensional threats, confirms demons exist and come from another world, connected to Earth through a sealed rift. The agency learns White Rabbit is searching for Dante. Meanwhile, Dante fights another demon that disguises itself as his dead twin brother. During the battle, the creature tries to steal Dante's mysterious amulet and hints that Dante does not truly understand who he is before escaping. Darkcom questions Enzo Farino, a criminal broker connected to Dante. He reveals Dante's family was murdered by demons and explains the legend of Sparta, a powerful demon warrior who betrayed hell to protect humanity. Sparta sealed the barrier between worlds using the Force-Edged sword and a split amulet. If both halves are reunited with the sword, the gateway to hell will fully reopen. White Rabbit already possesses one half of the amulet. After a failed ambush against him, Darkcom realizes Dante carries the second piece and has unknowingly become the center of White Rabbit's plan. The episode ends with Dante relaxing at home and dancing to Just Dance before falling asleep. In Washington, Darkcom gathers a large group of mercenaries and announces a bounty mission to capture Dante and retrieve the mysterious amulet hanging around his neck. Vice President Baines warns them that Dante is highly dangerous, though most of the mercenaries laugh at the idea. One man named Arnold admits he once worked with Dante and only survived because of him. Baines offers extra money if Dante is brought in alive for questioning. After the meeting, Mary Arkham, known as Lady, notices one of the mercenaries acting strangely. She immediately realizes he is a demon disguised as a human and kills him before he can attack Baines. Darkcom explains that ordinary weapons are not enough against demons, so they have developed specialized anti-demon technology. Meanwhile, Enzo visits Dante to pay him for a previous job, but Dante quickly figures out he is helping Darkcom set a trap. Enzo admits people are after Dante's amulet, but Dante refuses to hand it over because it belonged to his mother. Enzo also reveals that the demon from earlier had briefly taken the appearance of Dante's dead brother, which unsettles him. Soon, mercenaries begin attacking Dante in waves. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Dante defeats them easily with his swordsmanship, guns, and superhuman abilities. During the fight, Lady finally confronts him directly. She is far more skilled than the others and uses advanced weapons designed for demon hunting. While fighting him, she suspects Dante is actually half demon. Dante mocks the idea and refuses to believe it himself. Lady taunts him for not understanding the truth behind his family or the amulet he carries. Although Dante clearly overpowers her physically, he is caught off guard by Darkcom's anti-demon equipment and traps. Lady eventually manages to subdue him and capture him alive for Darkcom. Elsewhere, White Rabbit continues moving his plan forward while searching for the second half of Sparta's amulet. Darkcom prepares to transport Dante for interrogation, now fully aware that he is connected to the barrier separating Earth and Hell. Mary remembers her childhood and how her life changed after a demon attack nearly killed her family. While returning home one night, a monster attacked them inside a subway station. A train crashed into the creature before it could kill Mary, but the incident left her father obsessed with demons. He spent years studying them and eventually pushed his family away while searching for ways to fight back. In the present, Dante is being transported by Darkcom after his capture. Lady rides with the convoy while Enzo is also taken along for questioning. Dante constantly mocks the soldiers and keeps trying to escape his restraints, frustrating Lady even more. During the trip, White Rabbit and several powerful demons launch an ambush on the convoy. The attack quickly turns into chaos as the demons overpower Darkcom soldiers despite their anti-demon weapons. White Rabbit demands Dante's amulet, while Lady and the remaining soldiers try to hold the line. Two demon brothers named Agni and Rudra join the assault, creating massive destruction across the highway. Dante eventually breaks free during the battle and joins the fight himself. Even while chained and injured, Dante tears through demons with his usual reckless confidence. At one point, White Rabbit fires a missile toward a school bus full of children. Dante immediately abandons the fight to save them, using his speed and strength to stop the explosion before it hits the bus. The children are left stunned after seeing him casually walk away from the wreckage. During the battle, one of the Darkcom agents secretly hands Dante's amulet over to White Rabbit. It is revealed the agent betrayed them because White Rabbit threatened his family. After finally obtaining both halves of the amulet, White Rabbit moves closer to completing Sparta's seal-breaking ritual. Dante chases after him furiously and nearly catches him, but Lady reveals she secretly planted an explosive device inside Dante's neck while he was imprisoned. She detonates it before he can reach White Rabbit, allowing the villain to escape with the amulet. As the battle ends, Dante realizes White Rabbit now possesses everything needed to open the path between Earth and Hell, while Lady remains determined to stop both of them no matter the cost. Episode 4 of Devil May Cry opens with Darkcom tracking the signal of Sparta's amulet, which leads them to a rundown apartment complex. Expecting White Rabbit's base, they instead walk into a carefully prepared trap. Dante is being held and transported while still dealing with confusion about his past and his connection to Sparta. Lady and Enzo are also caught in the operation as Darkcom pushes deeper into what they believe is White Rabbit's stronghold. The entire mission quickly turns unstable as it becomes clear the enemy is always one step ahead. Inside the building, Dante is forced into a chaotic situation where the line between human and demon conflict becomes clearer. White Rabbit continues manipulating events from behind the scenes, using both demons and humans as pawns to provoke Dante and push him toward unlocking his hidden demonic power. The deeper Dante is pulled into the situation, the more pressure builds around his unknown origins. Meanwhile, Lady's perspective on demons begins to shift as she encounters situations that challenge everything she has been taught. Instead of a simple enemy presence, she starts seeing complexity in how demons and humans are connected to the conflict, especially through White Rabbit's ideology and the refugees tied to the demon world. The trap escalates into a large-scale disaster as Darkcom forces are overwhelmed and the mission falls apart. Dante is pushed closer to the truth about himself, especially regarding Sparta and the sealed connection between the human world and Hell. White Rabbit's influence becomes more direct, showing that his plan is not just about power, but about breaking the barrier entirely. By the end, the operation has failed in controlling the situation. Darkcom is scattered, and White Rabbit's plan continues moving forward. Dante is left closer than ever to uncovering his true origin while becoming the key piece in the ongoing conflict between worlds. The episode opens with Dante and others falling from a destroyed aircraft, forcing him into a desperate mid-air rescue. While debris and passengers plummet toward the ground, he rushes across the wreckage, grabbing parachutes and securing as many people as possible. As the situation worsens, his suppressed power begins to surface, triggered by stress and flashes of memories connected to his past and his mother's death. During the fall, Dante's demonic transformation fully awakens for the first time. Wings emerge as he enters a devil trigger-like state, allowing him to save the remaining passengers, including Enzo and other key figures, before they can hit the ground. Once the immediate danger is reduced, he continues fighting a surviving demon on board, learning that the White Rabbit is still pulling the strings behind the chaos and is actively searching for Sparta-related power. Meanwhile, Lady continues her mission on the ground, tracking strange demon activity inside a facility tied to White Rabbit's experiments. She encounters a demon disguised as one of her own allies, which exposes infiltration within Darkcom's ranks. As the situation escalates, Echidna appears, attacking the facility and pushing the situation into full collapse. Through deception and timing, Lady manages to survive the ambush and kills Echidna using specialized anti-demon weaponry. At the same time, Plasma's deception unravels, revealing deeper manipulation behind the mission, and the facility descends into destruction after a chaotic chain of betrayals and an explosion. Darkcom's control over the situation weakens as the experiment site is wiped out. Back with Dante, he continues fighting another powerful demon, Rudra, while trying to uncover the truth about the amulet and White Rabbit's plan. During the battle, he is told that the White Rabbit requires Sparta's bloodline to fully activate his objective. Lady also begins to piece together that Dante himself is central to the ritual, realizing his connection to Sparta is more direct than previously believed. As the conflict ends, Dante's transformation fades after the intensity of the battle, leaving him weakened, but aware that he is now the key target in White Rabbit's plan to break the barrier between worlds. Episode 6 of Devil May Cry shifts into a deeply layered origin story, revealing the parallel pasts of Mary and the White Rabbit and how their paths eventually collide in tragedy. The episode opens with Mary's childhood. She grows up under the shadow of her father, John Arkham, whose obsession with demon research slowly destroys their family life. Her mother, Kalina Ann, repeatedly tries to pull him away from dangerous experiments, but he refuses to stop. As Arkham's work intensifies, Mary witnesses him losing his humanity entirely. One night, after a violent confrontation at home, Arkham injects himself with demon blood, transforming into a monster and killing Kalina Ann. Mary survives the attack only because chaos and fire consume the house, forcing her father away. This moment becomes the foundation of her future, as she later joins Darkcom to hunt demons. The story then shifts to the White Rabbit's past. He is revealed as an orphaned human boy who endured constant abuse in foster care. His only comfort is the story of Alice in Wonderland, which shapes how he sees the world. After years of suffering, he discovers a portal to Makai and steps into the demon realm. There, instead of immediate death, he is taken in by Makai refugees who show him kindness and community. He begins helping them by eventually learning how to create portals between worlds, hoping to give demons and humans a chance to coexist. That fragile balance collapses when Mary and her Darkcom squad encounter the Makaians during a mission. Misinterpreting the situation as a hostile demon infiltration, they open fire. Even as the White Rabbit pleads for understanding, a demon breaks through the portal, triggering chaos. Mary's team kills the Makaians in the crossfire, and the White Rabbit is left critically injured after witnessing the destruction of the only family he had ever known. In the aftermath, grief turns into rage. The surviving boy reconstructs himself into the White Rabbit, sewing a mask and committing fully to his ideology that humans and demons must be forced to share the same fate. His goal becomes breaking Sparta's seal and collapsing the barrier between worlds. The episode ends by tying both origin stories together, showing how Mary and the White Rabbit were shaped by similar trauma but driven toward opposite convictions, setting them on a collision course that will decide the fate of both worlds. Episode 7 of Devil May Cry opens with White Rabbit fully preparing for the final stage of his plan. His army gathers, and he positions powerful demons across the battlefield while waiting for Dante to arrive. The atmosphere is tense, as both Darkcom and independent forces move toward the same confrontation. Mary takes a more aggressive role in this episode, pushing deeper into White Rabbit's operations. She captures Dante and keeps him restrained, intending to use him as leverage against White Rabbit. However, White Rabbit refuses to be manipulated and continues advancing his plan, showing that he is already several steps ahead of everyone. White Rabbit then reveals more of his ideology and long-term goal. He intends to collapse the barrier between the human world and Makai completely, believing it will end centuries of suffering for demons. He shows Dante a vision of hell, exposing the cruelty and suffering of the demon realm, trying to convince him that Sparta's seal was a lie that only prolonged pain. Dante rejects the offer outright and refuses to support mass destruction. This triggers a massive battle as White Rabbit's demon army engages both Dante and Mary's forces. During the chaos, Dante breaks free and begins fighting through elite demons, including Cavaliere Angelo, in a fast and destructive duel. White Rabbit also confronts Mary directly and unmasks himself, revealing that he is connected to the massacre she once participated in as a Darkcom soldier. He exposes how her actions shaped his hatred and transformation into the White Rabbit, making the conflict deeply personal for both of them. Despite the emotional confrontation, Dante eventually defeats Cavaliere Angelo in a brutal fight. White Rabbit, however, survives long enough to deliver a final warning, suggesting that everything Dante has experienced is only the beginning of a much larger conflict involving Sparta's legacy. As the battle settles, Enzo and Vice President Baines arrive to witness the aftermath. Baines declares the confrontation the beginning of a new war between humanity and hell, marking the point where the conflict becomes officially global and unavoidable. White Rabbit kills Bloodstrike and consumes him, mutating into a more monstrous form as the situation spirals out of control. The American military arrives to contain the aftermath, while General Baines shifts blame onto Arkham, treating her as a loyal asset who may need discipline when she fails. Dante and Arkham argue over the amulet, with Arkham insisting it should be handed to Baines for Earth's protection, while Dante refuses to trust him. Their confrontation is interrupted by Enzo, just before Baines arrives and questions them about the missing artifact. Dante lies, claiming White Rabbit has it, but Baines refuses to let him operate freely and orders Arkham to detain him. White Rabbit suddenly attacks in his transformed state, overwhelming military forces and slaughtering most personnel. During the chaos, Anders steals the Mackay transmitter and escapes via helicopter. Arkham is knocked unconscious, and Dante struggles against White Rabbit while trying to destroy the device keeping him alive. Enzo attempts to intervene but is killed before reaching it, pushing Dante into a furious counterattack. Arkham regains consciousness and extracts Dante onto a helicopter, but White Rabbit pursues them. In the struggle, Dante forces him away, yet the amulet slips from his possession. White Rabbit attaches it to Sparta's sword and reveals he has obtained Virgil's blood, shocking Dante with the revelation that his brother is alive. Using Dante's blood as well, he begins activating the rift. A gateway to Mackay opens and demons begin pouring through. Arkham manages a final shot that destroys White Rabbit's stabilizing mechanism, allowing Dante to fully transform and defeat him. Dante then removes the amulet from the sword, stopping the immediate demon surge. Arkham knocks Dante unconscious, still believing he must be contained. Meanwhile, Baines activates Operation Inferno, betraying both sides as he opens a full-scale portal to Mackay using the stolen transmitter. Military forces invade the demon world and establish control. The American government publicly confirms the existence of demons and begins militarizing the conflict. In Mackay, the Ouroboros detention facility is established, but Virgil appears, killing guards and freeing imprisoned Mackayans before declaring allegiance to Mundus, warning humanity of what is coming next.